Hi, how are you guys doing? Good, fantastic. After all those innovations that you're seeing there, I actually love that Neo Motions food. I feel like getting one. You can actually travel in Bangalore much faster. Yeah. Anyway, I'm very happy to be here. I live in Hyderabad, but Storm said, you don't have to come all the way. I said, no, I want to be here in person because this is such a fantastic, forum to see some passionate entrepreneurs really innovating for this sector. With that, I just quickly introduce myself and then hand it over to Dr. Ajay. I am Prasad. I run a market access firm called Anthill Ventures. We call it market access and not a PC because our focus is to help entrepreneurs to scale with speed. We're 80 companies across that health, climate, and lifestyle. We invest in tech, science, and consumer brands. So we're quite widespread. Specifically for health, we have partnered with HCG and Dr. Ajaikumar. When I first met him and his daughter Anjali, who's actually in Switzerland right now, we'd gone for a trip to Switzerland to look at all the healthcare companies and investments there, and they said, "Can we do something together to really help young entrepreneurs, get faster clinical validation, getting them to the market faster?" But we didn't have any knowledge about healthcare or the products itself, right? And that's where Dr. Ajay and his team of doctors at HCG come into the picture. With that, thank you, Dr. Ajay, for coming at a short notice. I want you to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Prasad. And it is amazing to hear some of the innovations people have done in disability. And I have a personal interest. I'll come to that in a few minutes. But what I would like to share with you is as a doctor and an oncologist, he was in US for a long time, 28 years. When I decided to take to India, it was a challenge to see how you can bridge the gap with cancer and bring it. I started as an entrepreneur when people thought always we are a poor country, we can't bring technology, we can't bridge the gap. We pioneered bridging the gap, bringing high technology, innovating a lot of things in care. And then today we are the largest group in the country. I came back to India, 28 years in US, 2003 to do this. But there was a force behind it. Actually, when I hear the stories, disability world, I have my own son who in 1990, he was born, and for 4.5 years, he was diagnosed as having Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And we were told that his lifetime is only 60 years because there is no treatment for even today for DNB. But I took this as a challenge. Both me and my wife said, let us say he's going to live only 16. But let us see how we can work. Of course, I went to different universities, did all the trials and all, but decided I will take charge. And that also inspired me really to come back to do things in India. And people said, you can't really build 26 cancer centers. What inspired me was my son Adarsh, who always was positive. He always looked upon glass half full. And even when today, just to say that, fast forward and say today, he's living at 35 with a wheelchair. He uses a mask for respiration. One of the longest living individuals in the world with a Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So I am happy to share that because it is a dedication and how we really bring about this. I brought him back to India when I moved. Even though he was US born, all my children were born in US. But what it has taught me is how, as an individual or a family, with some determination, can achieve things they can't achieve. They feel they cannot achieve. Similarly, like Prasad with oncology also, we always say cancer is, not curable. People can't really talk about palliative care, hospice care. Using the same model of my son, I don't create palliative care. I feel every patient can be treated right first time, can achieve a certain goal. None of us are immortal, but how do we achieve this good quality of life? And through my son also went through a journey. For example, we heard about some other presentation, people cannot go outside. His goal is, can I create, unfortunately the short notice I couldn't bring in, he's in Mysore. But he said, let me create an electric auto. He worked on that, the electric auto, to move people. And his dream was they come in through the wheelchair and sit inside the auto. And the auto takes the people on wheelchair to the cinema theater search. But challenge is, like in India, a lot of countries is they can't even enter cinema theater because not accessible. He has worked hard. He calls the cinema people. He calls the restaurant. You better build accessible. And of course, nationally, he was involved with some group to do certain things at a national level. But because of some sickness issues, you couldn't pursue. But he's doing very well now at the age of 35. And what I would like to convey here is, Prasad, that what I feel with HCG story, my own son's story, is we need to address the issue like what some of the inventors speak today. We have to focus and bring about better awareness in business. Hey, there are certain group of people who cannot walk. How do we take them in a plane? Because recently we went to Australia, my family, my twin girls and others. It was a chore, even in Australia, to move him from seat to seat. And one center in Australia, in Melbourne, said, we can't, you have to go back. I said, go back where? You come all the way, go back where? They didn't have the lift system. It was terrible how we had to manage, bring him, take him all the way into the seat itself was a problem. How do we create better awareness? Inventors are there, everything. We go to all the shows around the world. See, but the awareness, acceptance of these people is not. I think that is a good. People ask, is it totally can't walk? Can he get up and move to the chair? I said, no, sorry, he totally can't walk. Even his arms can't move, at this point. So people are not aware. We have to create awareness. We have to create inventions. I have a fund called Iliga, where it's a 700 crore fund. I am investing, as you know, in healthcare. I'm looking at investing even in some of these mobility things and all that. I want to really, with the help of others, create that kind of an awareness, bring about a change, like similar to cancer. Cancer was a dreadful disease, and when I started practice in 1930 US, people always thought everybody is palliative care. Today, so much of genomics, proteogenomics, we have wonderful changes. And the people in the street, you can see they may have cancer, they're still walking. We don't even know they have cancer. One in US, 1 in 7 gets cancer. In India, it's 1 in 9 or 13. It's increasing rapidly. But we are learning to deal with it with a positive way. For example, when you had a cancer institute, talk about some kind of disease, people say, who will come to a dedicated cancer center? Because there is a stigma. Because we see 120,000 new patients a year, largest across India. So there is a dynamic change in the thinking. Similarly, we have to bring out a change in the people with various disabilities. It could be that we heard about talking disabilities, mental issues, physical issues. And, even elderly people today who have strokes, they become prisoners at home. My son goes out everywhere. He goes to restaurants, he commands, he goes with a ventilator on. People in house, one day, just to tell you, like I said, people say, feel so sorry, you can't walk. My son said, no, you have next to walk, I have my wheelchair to walk. He's got an electric wheelchair, he walks himself. So that is the answer he gave. People were shocked. And again, one of the things is, like DMD is the name we go by. Just to tell you one joke, one of these close friends had a rash on the arm. They said, I have a rash. My son, I be used to this, you can have some Benadryl. She went and asked later me, Tamti, what do you think, doctor? I said, use a Benadryl rash. Then my son said, I told you. No, but I asked your father because he's an MD. He said, I'm a DMD. So all I want to say is, he takes a difficult situation and makes it light of it. That is what, people should not even feel sorry. See, most of the children with disabilities, they test feeling sorry about. It's the public perception. But treat them normal. They're normal kids. Respect them. And make sure accessibility is there wherever they go. See, that is one of the major problems in India. Restaurants, places, on law and books, everything is there. But in practice, how many restaurants are accessible? Please check when you go next time. How many auditoriums are accessible? Rarely. But there are few cities in the world, like, for example, in Spain, Barcelona, or a few countries like that, 100% access. Sweden, 100%. As recently in Sweden, I know. Switzerland, accessibility is there. But in a country like India, we have to create awareness. And in my own journey, I find there are obstacles are put. Because when you have a difficult situation, I always tell my team, it is very easy to say, I can't do it. Then the door is closed. But the door really opens when we say, I will do it as a challenge. And failure should also be celebrated. Like a lot of your inventors, if you don't succeed in your failure, we should celebrate and see if epic and fun. In California, I go to a lot of VC funding. I heard once major investors, Vinod Khosla and party. And I heard somebody say, hey, I lost $10 million in this venture. So immediately the investors say, it's a great venture. How can I fund you more to do one more? But this is called celebration of even failure should be so. The inventor, but in India today, it's really great to see some of the invention. We need to do a lot more research, R&D department. How do we do? And I can go on talking about drugs. We don't invent. We don't do new inventions. We are very hardly. And one of the things recently, Venki Ramakrishnan wrote on the social media, Nobel laureate, say, India cannot attract scientists from abroad because we don't have the infrastructure. I wrote back saying that we don't have to attract. We have inherent talent in India itself. It's just that we want to make sure they don't mob. Like today, Google, Microsoft, Adobe are all run by Indians. You look at World Bank. We have enormous talent. We just need focus. Like I did in oncology, everybody said you will fail. Big groups like Tata, Sindha, Hector, said, there's no way you'll succeed. But why did we succeed? Because they said failure is also acceptable. So let us work on. And today we are a listed company. We are, 8,000 market cap. You're doing very good at a single specialty. Similarly, I'd like to draw cables, Prasad, and like to use also. Similarly, in disability, it's great what is set up here. The seed start, very good. I think we should encourage such investment and we should encourage people to come forward saying these IIT graduates. It's phenomenal. They have not gone abroad. They're dull yet. Which should become, they really applauded for this work. And how do we fund them more? How do we take a risk? Any funding is a risk, but we have to take a risk. But only request is, please look at right valuation. I saw one of the things there, a gentleman saying 4 crores revenue, 42 crore valuation. That means 10 times revenue. It is very ambitious valuation. So we have to be clear also what is the valuation I expect. Based on that, how do I bring in new investors?
Thank you so much. I think they are fantastic insights. And some of your insights came from personal experience. I think what insights come from personal experience, I feel are stick with you and coach you as a person, right? Couple of things that I want to address. I think one is creating awareness. I think with awareness, you have to create the desire to support. You have to create knowledge. You have to create trade. I think there's a process, right? I think the process has to start, as you said, from the hubs, which are supposed to be the knowledge hubs or innovation hubs we call IITs and the IIMs and all of that stuff, right? Triple ITs. Unfortunately, they don't have the funds. Alumni is not giving in as much as they're supposed to give. I remember from the Stanford Business School that, one of the innovations that you've had, which is like an exercise, the unit taken from the gym they created a pump out of it, a water pump, and that got about $150 billion of funding. So I don't think IITs can get that level of funding, but whatever they have, they be able to build, dream and bigger, right? Without the funding and the infrastructure that they have. But what I feel is that on the valuations that you just mentioned, I'm from the VC industry and we have seen this all the time. What I do in this case is that that the business requires a certain amount of money, right, to scale. You don't have to say that I'm valued at this. You can always say that I need about 20 crores, 40 crores, 50 crores, whatever you need. You can say I can do it at a discount to the next valuation, because that will allow you to get the money that you need to build a larger business without setting a valuation up front. I know that Indian investors will keep pushing you to say, what is the valuation? I want 20%, 20% of your company. That's not what you want to get into. That's not the investor that you want. You want an investor that supports you in your journey to scale it up, because every business needs a certain amount of fund, right?
But really, Prasad, we have to look at what you said is very true. You have to look at the investor as a part. Now, I have been entrepreneur, I have been a Mansar. Now I have gone partly to the other side of funding. I can see very well what opportunities are there, what great ideas are there. But some of the ideas fall through because the expectation level is so high. How do we make it saturate? The entrepreneur is rewarded for what he's doing. We should never squeeze the entrepreneur. But at the same time, we should value the person who's also putting them up and making sure it is a mix of both. In one way, when you put very high valuation, what happens? I know several companies, healthcare in India, Bangalore, go valued it so much, they got high valuation. And next round, because they have not achieved the goal, next round they are not able to beat that. So they go underground. So that
I do see, totally agree. And obviously at the seed stage, you can say, okay, whatever value this company is, but after you take money, then you'll have to execute and then show, and then it's a multiple of that. And then when it falls flat, then the early investors get upset. Anyway, now we have just 2 minutes, so I just want to ask you one interesting question here. Most of these products have been designed or created. How do you ensure that technology meets inclusion, right? That's one question. The second question is that there's a lot of talk about AI right now, and obviously it is something that's let loose without any, what do you call it, a section or a forum of AI for goodness and things like that. And this topic is widely spread everywhere, right? How do you ensure that AI is put to good use?
AI, in my view, is a complement. It's complementary to your ideas. It kind of generates the algorithms to know whether you're doing the right thing, and also gives you the vision for what else I can do. In medical field, we use computational work, algorithms in genomics to understand. The two patients come, one is getting a response, other patient is getting not a response. Why? So we can use that kind of knowledge in disability, other areas, various areas and startups to really create algorithms so we can fast forward, we can leapfrog. In the past, it used to take years. Today, it can take months. Even new drug discovery, new things, lot of things. There is an open field, but certainly I don't think AI can take over. So like some people, one of the investors told me, I will detect cancer, I'll run me out of business 10 years ago with AI. It will not happen, it will never happen. So I think we have to use it in the right place at the right time, and then we will get the best benefits out of it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Ajay. Thanks for your time. Thank you, PhD researcher.